Ever feel like something in your life is constantly changing and every time you have to shift to restore balance? Well, you're not alone. Chemical systems go through this all the time. In fact, it's what drives some of the reactions that we need to live, like oxygen dissolving in your blood, oceans absorbing carbon dioxide, or even the replication of DNA. These systems all adjust to diminish the change that has been made to them when they're disturbed at equilibrium. This is called the equilibrium law, or the Chatelier's law. So, what disturbs a chemical system? Well, there can be a variety of factors: concentration, temperature, volume, pressure. Let's start by looking at a sample chemical reaction. The double arrow means the reaction is reversible, which many chemical reactions are. You can think of this like magnets, atoms, sticking together. But they can still be separated if the conditions are right.
Let's consider concentration. We can think of each chemical reaction like this container, with reactants on one side of the line and products on the other. Here the box I'm using is going to represent the total volume the reaction is carried out in. The shaking of the box reflects dynamic equilibrium, a fancy way to say the atoms are constantly colliding, so both the forward and reverse reactions are happening. The lentils represent the amount of molecules present, so we can think of adding lentils as increasing the concentration. When I increase the concentration of the reactants, the system shifts to produce more product. Likewise, when we decrease the concentration of either side, the concentration of the other side decreases as the system shifts to restore equilibrium.
Now, let's think about pressure and volume. Let's carry out a reaction with gas molecules. We know from the ideal gas law that in equal conditions, 1 mole of gas has the same volume, no matter what the nature of the gas. Let's start with a system at equilibrium, and then decrease the volume, increasing the pressure. Wow, that's cramped! Just like people, gas molecules really don't like to be cramped. They need their social distance to stay healthy, so they shift toward the direction that will give them less moles. In this case, A and B team up to make C and enjoy double the space. Now let's increase that volume. With so much space, the system can relax, and C separates into A and B. In general, decreasing the pressure shifts the reaction toward the side with more moles, and increasing the pressure shifts the reaction toward the side with less moles. Last, let's look at temperature, and one of my favourite activities, sleeping. In this reaction, the A is me, the B is my quilt, and C is the quilt and me complex. When heat is removed, I bind tightly to my quilt. All reactions need either a net input of energy or provide a net output of energy. Just as in the concentration example, increasing the amount on one side leads the reaction to shift to the other side. So, how does this help oxygen dissolve in your blood? Well, Le Chatelier's principle also works for coupled reactions. The rate of gaseous oxygen dissolving in water is actually very slow, but since hemoglobin removes that aqueous oxygen from your bloodstream by binding to it, more oxygen dissolves in your blood. So, next time you feel out of balance, follow chemistry's lead. Take a deep breath, and don't forget to thank Le Chatelier's principle.